Let's go Rams. We're already past the halfway point of May, and there's still a lot to come before the official start of the season. We need to talk about a few things that a lot of people haven't noticed. This video will get straight to the point, and I definitely want your opinion on this topic. Before I go into all the details, I want to know from you. Do you believe the Rams will make the playoffs this season? If yes, smash that like button hard. If not, comment why you don't believe in this roster. Either way, write this. Go Rams. I'm blue, white, and yellow until I die. Alright, so here we go. There's growing discussion surrounding a specific stretch of the Rams' schedule that could completely change the course of the season. Strong indications suggest that the Rams and Seahawks could end up facing each other twice in the final 3 weeks of the regular season, including a Christmas Day game and another meeting in the last week of the season. Think about that for a second. 2 Rams vs. Seahawks games packed into the final moments of the season. On paper, that might sound exciting. After all, this rivalry has become one of the fiercest in football. Last season, every matchup between these teams was decided by 4 points or fewer, and one even went into overtime. Every game felt like a playoff matchup. But that's exactly why this situation feels more complicated than exciting. Because rivalries are supposed to build. They should breathe throughout the season. There's the first meeting. You analyze it. Fans debate adjustments. Coaches hide little wrinkles in the playbook. Players circle the rematch on the calendar. The anticipation grows. That's what made previous Rams-Seahawks matchups so fascinating. There was time between games. Room to evolve. Room to make changes. Last season, one game turned into a defensive battle, while another became an offensive shootout. Different styles, different emotions, different stories. Now imagine removing all of that. Instead, you get 2 massive matchups practically back-to-back. Suddenly, adjustments become limited. Recovery time shrinks. Strategy changes completely. And here's where things get even more complicated. What if these 2 teams end up facing each other in the playoffs too? That possibility is completely on the table. Reports suggest both teams are considered contenders, which means 3 games in about a month becomes a very realistic scenario. 3 games, 1 rivalry, 1 month. That changes everything, because coaches start asking themselves difficult questions. Do you show your best formations right away? Do you reveal your entire game plan in the first matchup? Or do you save some pieces for later? Do you go all out on Christmas and try to land a psychological blow? Or hold something back knowing another battle is right around the corner? These are the kinds of situations that create true chess matches that go beyond football itself. And for Sean McVay, those decisions become critical. Because this Rams team isn't trying to sneak into contention. This organization wants another run at the Super Bowl. Every move is being calculated with January in mind. And there's another issue that nobody is talking about enough. Health.
Late-season football turns into survival mode. Bodies are worn down. Minor injuries become major concerns. Recovery time becomes priceless. If these teams are facing each other repeatedly during the final weeks of the season, and possibly in the playoffs, injuries don't suddenly disappear between games. The same players who got banged up in Game 1 could still be dealing with those injuries by Game 3. The same weaknesses exposed once can become recurring problems. That's dangerous. Especially because both organizations expect meaningful games deep into the season. Now, if that wasn't enough scheduled drama, more details are starting to emerge about another major Rams matchup, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Rams are expected to face the Chiefs in Week 13 on Thursday Night Football. And the timing raises some fascinating questions, because the conversation immediately turns to Patrick Mahomes. The timing suggests there's a very real chance Mahomes returns by then, although questions remain surrounding his recovery and overall effectiveness after injury concerns. And while nobody doubts Mahomes' greatness, history tells us returning players often need time before reaching peak form again, especially quarterbacks, whose style relies heavily on movement. Mahomes isn't just a pocket passer. He improvises, he creates impossible angles, he escapes pressure, he throws from awkward platforms. A large part of his magic starts with lower body movement. And if there's even a small percentage reduction there, could the Rams take advantage? That's becoming one of the most intriguing questions surrounding that matchup. Meanwhile, Another scheduling detail may quietly benefit Los Angeles in a huge way. The Rams are reportedly set to face the Giants very early in the season, during Week 2, and this could be one of those hidden advantages fans overlook. Because there's growing belief that New York may become much more dangerous as the season develops. Their roster features young offensive talent and a defense filled with upside pieces that simply need time together. Early season football can expose teams still searching for identity. Timing matters. Sometimes playing a talented team before they fully figure things out becomes a huge gift. And that's exactly what some believe could happen here. The Rams, meanwhile, enter with one of the league's most valuable advantages: experience. Matthew Stafford has seen almost everything possible during his NFL career. Sean McVay has built continuity. The defense has familiarity. The offensive structure remains stable. That matters, especially against teams still trying to discover who they are. But here's the thing, Rams fans. Sometimes schedules tell stories long before games happen. Sometimes the arrangement itself creates challenges. And right now, the deeper people examine this upcoming path, the harder certain concerns become to ignore. 2 Seahawks games late, potential playoff collisions, Chiefs timing, young rising opponents, strategic complications. Everything starts stacking together. So here's the question I want every Rams fan to answer. Do you think this late-season Seahawks setup helps the Rams prepare for playoff football? Or do you believe the NFL may have accidentally created a problem that could hurt one of the league's biggest rivalries? And there's another angle here that Rams fans should keep a very close eye on, because the NFL may have quietly handed Los Angeles one of the strangest scheduling situations we've seen in years. Reports also suggest the Rams are expected to host the Green Bay Packers in the league's first-ever Thanksgiving Eve game. Yes, you heard that right. Not Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving Eve. And while that initially sounds like just another attempt by the NFL to dominate every single day on the calendar, there may actually be a hidden advantage buried inside this situation for Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. Because this isn't just about adding another primetime game, this is about rest. The schedule creates what many call a mini-bye situation, where teams receive extra recovery time between games. But for the Rams, this may become even better than that. Reports indicate Los Angeles could essentially receive a double mini-bye due to the spacing around these matchups. And if you're a Rams fan, one name immediately comes to mind: Matthew Stafford. Because every extra day matters. When you have a veteran quarterback who has battled through years of NFL punishment, rest isn't just a luxury anymore. It becomes a weapon. It becomes roster management. It becomes a long-term investment toward January football. And there's another detail that should make Rams fans smile. Both games around this stretch are reportedly scheduled at SoFi Stadium. No travel, no long flights, no cross-country recovery issues, no late-night airport arrivals. That may sound small now, but when teams begin approaching the brutal final stretch of the season, tiny advantages suddenly become massive ones. Because championships are often decided by margins nobody talks about in September. An extra 2 days, one less flight, one player feeling 5% healthier. Those details matter, especially if the Rams really do end up playing 20 or more games during a deep playoff run. But there's another side to this story too. Because from a fan perspective, some people are beginning to wonder if the NFL is starting to push things too far. Sunday football, Monday football, Thursday football, international games, holiday games, streaming exclusive games, Wednesday games. At some point, fans start asking an important question. How much football is too much football? Because football works partly because it feels special. You wait all week. You build anticipation. You prepare. And when kickoff finally arrives, it feels important. But if games are suddenly everywhere, every day, every platform, does some of that feeling disappear? That's becoming a real conversation, especially because this Thanksgiving Eve matchup is reportedly expected to air on Netflix. And Rams fans already know opinions surrounding streaming broadcasts have been mixed. Some love accessibility. Others hate buffering. Others simply want football to stay where they've always watched football. And considering the Rams may already appear multiple times on Netflix broadcasts this season, fans are paying attention. Because if this experiment works, who knows what happens next? Maybe Wednesday football suddenly becomes permanent. Maybe the NFL expands further. Maybe traditions change again. And somehow the Rams continue finding themselves right in the middle of these league-changing moments. That's what makes all of this so fascinating. Because while everybody focuses on players, trades, and highlights, sometimes the biggest stories develop quietly in the background.